Okay, well, good morning. So, different location today, but same award-winning content. So today we're talking about Usborne Book Haul. They are not new Usborne books. Well, they are new, but they aren't like the newly released. So some of them are unused, but they're not the newly released. I got them from Amazon, so Amazon Book Haul, and I got them from Thrift Books Book Haul, and places like that. But before I get to that, product of the day, if you watch my other videos, you've seen this before. Okay, so before we get going, product of the day is the Life Fact. This is not a sponsored video. I just bought the Life Fact based on the reviews. So if you have a child or an adult or a baby or a toddler choking and the Heimlich maneuver isn't working, these are the instructions it comes with. So what you do is all you do is you take this device, it's plastic, not heavy. You choose the size mask. It's got 3 sizes, okay? So you choose the size mask. This is the adult size, and you pop it on. You're gonna put it over their face, you're gonna push down, and it'll suck it out, all right? Amount of noise that was going on downstairs with my kids, I decided, you know what? Let's just do this upstairs today. So I'm gonna go through a ton of Usborne books, starting with one of my absolute favorites. We pull it up because it's heavy. I keep it right next to my bed, and this is every morning my kids get in my bed and we read. Every morning without fail, or I get in their bed. These are some of my favorite books. It's currently $72, I believe, for this set. It is my reading library. Okay, so 50 books to guide your child through the early stages of reading. These are really good books. They are fairy tales. They're Aesop's fables. I mean, there's some of the most interesting stories. So you got Little Mermaid, The Princess and the Pea, Rumpelstiltskin, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, right? So you got all of these, okay? And then you go on and you got The Musics of Bremen, The Gingerbread Man, The 3 Little Pigs, The King's Pudding, The Magic Porridge Pot. And then you go on, I mean, you got Hansel and Gretel. Sorry, they're all upside down because I just shove them in wherever, right? I mean, you have so many. The Emperor and the Nightingale, The Inch Prince, The Hare and the Tortoise, The Ugly Duckling. So, all right, The Reluctant Dragon. And they're so interesting, these stories. It's got Aesop's tales, Aesop's fables. It's got it just has, if it's a famous story, it's in here, but it's so interesting. I'm telling you, this was such a good buy. To know that I can get these, some of the most interesting stories are old. I know it sounds silly, but they are, I'm telling you. These were great. The Little Red Hen, The Magic Pear Tree. So it tells you at the end too, the history of the story. The Magic Pear Tree is a traditional tale from China. So this is the best deal you are gonna get. These two, they're Usborne beginners. To me, they are the best deal you are gonna get for Usborne educational books. This one is history. I have not found anything in here that someone who is Christian would be offended by. There's another Usborne book that there is a lot of evolution in it. I'll tell you which one, but not in here. So this is the Iron Age, the Maya, the Stone Age, and honestly, my 4-year-old up to, even if you had a 10-year-old, they could glean something from this information. So look at these pictures, and it's got such interesting content that you're just definitely learning, and it's interesting, but it's not overwhelming as far as interesting goes. So it's not overwhelming in the amount of information. So this to me is a definite winner. Romans, Egyptians, Ancient Greeks, Maya. Speaking of which, make sure you watch the history video if you want to see my favorite history curriculum. I did the grade 1 video. I'll attach the end of the kindergarten video. But well, the history curriculum's in, I mean, they both have some history curriculum in them. This is the Vikings. So you learn about trips to town and Viking money. These are coins and things like that. So very interesting. 35 bucks. Honestly, you can't beat that deal as far as Usborne goes on Amazon. This as well, $35 on Amazon. Look at these. This is their science beginners. So remember, it's the Usborne beginners. Okay, Usborne beginners. This is the science. So it's got planet Earth, living in your body, living in space, your body, weather, volcanoes, tsunamis, hurricanes. Let me just take the solar system. I don't think it had Pluto in there when I was reading it, but it might. That's the thing when you're reading any books, when you're reading anything that has to do with science, is they discover new information, so it may not be accurate. So when you're reading it, when it's like, oh, these people were born, the first people were discovered such and such and such. No, they've just recently discovered more people. So things like that. So it's always changing, so I try not to be arrogant and assume like, oh, this is the way it is. No, there's There's other things that we haven't heard of yet. Science is always making just new discoveries, is what I'm saying. So very interesting, highly recommend. These are my favorite. You have to get these on thrift books. They're rare. There's Puzzle Train. I got another one here. We love them. So I have like Ocean. There's Ocean, Puzzle Ocean, Puzzle School. There's a ton of them. Not a ton. There's like 6. But they're not common. You can't find, they're not in print anymore. So you have to get them on thrift books and things like that. So now let's start. So the adventure starts. So every page is a puzzle that needs to be solved. So here is, can you find a safe route across the moat? So you look at these and it's like, well, I can't go there because of that guy. Well, I can cross here, but there's no guardrails. So maybe that's not the safest. Let me just check to see if there's anything safer. So wait, if I go along here, oh, that's missing. So that's broken. Okay, so do you get it? So it's like, I want to say critical thinking. And it's got different, this is Posey's problem. Can you find a necklace, a bracelet, and a ring and a crown that match? Okay, see there's a heart. There's a heart, but can we find a crown that matches too? There's a heart. Can you tell I've done this before a few times? Okay, so, and then Puzzle Train's a little bit different, so they're all a little bit different. This is the Puzzle Train, and then here it is, tickets please. Which passengers need new tickets? So children are supposed to have green, grown-ups are supposed to have red. Old folks are supposed to have blue, and animals are supposed to be brown. Okay, so when you look at these tickets, wait, he has a children's ticket, so he needs a new ticket. All right, so they're different, I guess you'd call them assignments, puzzles. There you go. They're different puzzles, okay? Can you find the way out to the seaside? So there's to Puzzle Planet, there's to Puzzle Mountain, of which they all have books for, Puzzle Farm, Puzzle Castle, Puzzle Town, to the seaside. So these are, again, my kids love them. They want me to read them again and again and again and again and again. This is an Usborne book I don't use very much. I don't use it very much, but it was one of the curriculums that I bought, Sunlight, the science curriculum that, to be honest, I was going to return, it's one of the required texts. I believe that's the curriculum that was one of the required texts. So it's just got Serengeti Plains, Namib Desert, so it's kind of cool. Africa. You know, I mean, it's Usborne, it's a good book. The prairies, Rocky Mountains. So I like that, the grasslands, the Amazon. So actually, maybe I should look at it more now that I'm looking through it. Now that I'm looking through it, I like it. I'm gonna use it again. Basically what I did was just go through my library, my home library, and see all the Usborne books I have. This one, I cracked the cover yesterday for the first time just to check it out. It's good. You know, I mean, it's Usborne, right? Living in a castle. So living in America. Now, is it, I am curious. It seems like it goes almost in order. Okay, because now we're starting in history. So if we go to the front, because there's animals, there's things like that. Oh yeah, see history, animals and planets, how people live, science, how things work, space. I gotta read this book more because that's very interesting. Maps, I have another map book that is absolutely amazing and phenomenal that I talked about in the grade 1 video. I'll attach at the end. I mean, it's such a spectacular book in my opinion. So Maps of the World, I'm close, Maps of the World. Oh, and at the end it's got your glossary, countries of the world. I mean, it's nice. It does the job. The world's environment's very interesting. My son would like that. Forest, grassland, desert. My son would like that. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at this book more often. It's a pretty good book. North America, where I point out, because we moved so many times, where I point out all the places we have lived. Yeah, okay. I have an amazing history curriculum that I show you in the grade 1. I mean, I just love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, but we really love history in our house. So this is super interesting. The birth of the earth, the beginning of life. So it does talk about evolution, prehistoric world. So I think if I had to choose between the two, I might go with that one. This one as well, got it, you can get it off Amazon. All right. So let's go into different types of, a different type of Usborne book. One of my favorites is the first book about the orchestra. So these are all the sections warming up. So we love classical music in our house, instrumental music. And there you go. So it's basically about the first book about the orchestra. Not very big, but that's okay. Now these are, that's my pajamas. That's what you get when you're in my bedroom. All right, so this, oh my gosh, they won't let me get rid of it. They still make me read it. That's fine, it's cute. It's a peek inside our Earth. Okay, so it's one of the first books we had about space. And then we upgraded. Again, Pluto's probably in here at this point. This is an older book, but maybe not. Okay, so there's another space book we have, so you'll see it in a minute. That is part of the Usborne Beginner set. Now, pirate ships. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put on the screen a video we did because we went to a pirate ship at Playmobil Land. And so I talked about some of the fascinating facts that I learned about pirates from this. Also, if you are interested in pirates, there's a curriculum about pirates, and it's very good. It's by Campfire Curriculums. I have a video on it. I'll attach the video at the end so you can see some really cool pirate books as well if you love pirates. And I learned things in that curriculum about pirates that I had never learned before. I mean, I had no idea. So very interesting. Oh my gosh, the information about what pirates are based on, the story regarding that, amazing, very interesting. Here is, okay, a look inside science. I bought this thinking that my ADHD child, like this would like help stimulate his interest in sitting down and reading more. And no, not yet. So we haven't cracked it. These are the only books I don't like to buy used because I've been burned sometimes buying them used, which are the pop-up books. So these are look inside with over 110 flaps to lift. So let's look at one. The senses. So you have 5 senses. Your brain collects information from all the senses. So it's got sound, light. All right. Okay, see inside the Second World War, 70 flaps to lift. My son who loves history. It's kind of a whitewashed version of history. It doesn't have the most gruesome things that happened, which I appreciate. Especially just for obvious reasons, because he's still young. So there you go, a whitewashed version, so nothing too gory. Lift the book, questions and answers of how does it work. Now before I get to that one, let me show you. This is one of the best books on feelings I swear to you I've ever read. Trying to explain to my children feelings and getting them more in touch with their feelings. Why do I want to cry too? Why do I bite my nails? Why do I laugh? Why do I worry before a race? Why do I feel happy for them? Do adults get scared? Why don't adults get scared? Or why don't I feel happy for them? Why don't I like being teased? Why don't my parents understand me? That was one of the good ones because they're probably trying to, but it's hard to know what's going on in someone else's mind. You look great in this top. I'd like to choose my own clothes, please. Especially when you're at different stages of life. Help them by talking things through and sharing your feelings. So now when kids are little, to share their feelings, one of the things to do is to basically, when they're upset, say, you're really upset. You know, I'm talking when they're really little, that'll help them. Okay, so this is, I didn't show you the how does it work. So different gadgets we look through. It's not that exciting. It's not that exciting because it's just a drop in the bucket. Just a drop in the bucket as to what's going on in the world. This castle is another good book. Another good book inside the Bailey. Now we go to a bunch of abandoned castles because we're overseas right now for another couple months. So we go to all these abandoned castles. So we have a lot of castle books because I love castles as well. We can go to get like castles that are still together. I like the ruins better with the stories that they have that attach them. Anyway, on my kids' history channel, we do go to a lot of those things. Does it have Pluto? This is Pluto. It's a dwarf thing. I don't know why I said it in that voice. Anyway, so this is the next level up. It's not, my kids aren't as thrilled with it as they are the first space book. And let's see. A couple more here. Oh, that music book. I think I gotta turn it off. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now, question and answers about your body. What is my body made of? Trillions of building blocks called cells. They're so teeny you can only see them under a microscope. You have over 200 different kinds of cells and they each have a different job to do. Skin cells, fat cells, bone cells, blood cells. So your body, I was just gonna say, over half of your body weight is actually water. That's so good. I'm glad they included that. What makes me burp? Ginger ale. Swallowing extra gas your body doesn't want. It's forced up from your tummy and out of your mouth. Burp. The main causes are gulping down food, drinking too quickly, and fizzy drinks. Okay, so question and answers about your body. Now these two were recommended or required by a couple different curriculums. I bought a bunch of different science curriculums to try them out. And these were required. So we are not at the age where we are using any of this yet. In fact, the science curriculum I have gone with has an amazing line of readers. Again, it's in the grade 1 video at the end. And it has, it's got a ton of info about atoms and molecules and things like that. So what is the periodic table? So I don't know why a grade 1 or the kindergarten would require the periodic table information, but I will save this book for when they are older. Currently, I don't get it. Okay, lift the flap engineering. Flying high, gadgets galore. I've looked through a bit of it. It's just not a big hit. Again, it was required for the grade 1 or kindergarten curriculum, one or the other. And it's just not, it just wasn't a big hit. Hello, my name is Pepper. This robot can recognize some human emotions. It changes how it behaves to match your mood. You seem sad. Would you like a hug? I will play a song that you love. So I don't know how it does that, and maybe it would be interesting if it told us how it did that. I feel like that might be a question that my kid would follow up with. So building big. Again, there's actually, I know engineering isn't the same as architecture, but a free architecture program put out by the Michigan Society of Architects. That is very good, and I have a video on that too. All right. So there you go. Those are some Usborne books that we have in our library that you can take a look through and see which ones is a go or is a no. Bye-bye. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.